We are here today to spend this morning with an interesting talk, and our guest is Kjell-Arne Wold, e-tron project manager in Audi. Hello.
Hello.
So what's your morning routine look like? Do you have any rituals that make it more special and enjoyable, or do they just end up being a necessary evil in order to get through the day?
Yeah, I think I wish I had some exciting and inspiring morning routines to tell you about, but I really don't. The only thing I tend to do is I tend to make myself a smoothie that I drink in the car, and then I listen to podcasts on my way to the office. Obviously, there's been little time in the office these days, but at least a good smoothie is always brings me a good start of the day.
That's awesome. Maybe you share some good podcasts with us.
yeah. Actually, I've listened to your podcasts recently, just to get myself a little bit in your view. Quite a lot of interesting guests you're having, and I also listen to historic podcasts because I'm a big fan of history, and I like listening to educational things as well, news podcasts and stuff. So a little bit of everything, I guess.
Okay, I see. You've always loved cars, or you wanted to help people. How did you start your career in automotive, and why did you choose it?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. For me, I always loved cars. You know, I have a huge passion for automotive, and in terms of the environmental aspect of electric vehicles, that's something that came to me more in recent years. And I definitely I'm very in awe of people who has this mission of saving the world and don't eat meat or drive electric or only use renewable energy and things like that. But for me, my passion for cars is just a very strong force in me to focus on electric vehicles. And I think that you should enrich your life in a way that you make the world a better place. So for me, the first principle of electric vehicles is that it has to be a better car. And then the bonus is, of course, that it's good for the environment. And I think many people are like me. They don't necessarily want to do too many compromises. So I think the first thing we need to focus on is to really make sure that an electric vehicle is better because it is electric, not necessarily because it's better for the environment. It's important, but unfortunately, most people don't really choose environmental over their personal beliefs. They should, but most people don't do that in all their choices, at least. So for me, it's I also have an education on retail management, and I suspected quite early on that the car industry was moving towards a more digitalized retail future, more of a buy your car online sort of thing. And that meant that the traditional dealership and auto industry method was maybe changing. And it was actually during this time that I learned about this little California-based company with a very tech-friendly CEO of Elon Musk. And I really knew that I wanted to work for Tesla.
So you worked for 7 years in Tesla. How was it? What did you feel there throughout the years?
Yeah. A lot of excitement, a lot of frustrations, a lot of exhaustion. I was actually among the first employees of Tesla in Europe. I started off at the headquarters, which at that point was in United Kingdom, in Maidenhead. And I started working from there, and then I was sent into the field, and then I worked on the showroom floor and throughout various levels of management. And in the end, I was in charge of what Tesla calls delivery operations in the Nordic countries. So that's Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. And it's like I said, working for Tesla is both amazing and exhausting. And leaving that company, I guess it sort of feels like seeing your child grow up, right? And realizing that your child maybe don't need you as much anymore like they did before. So yeah.
Okay, so you woke up just one day and it hit you, this is it, or you have been thinking about leaving for a long time. So what was your story? How did you know that you want to move on?
No, actually, my focus when it comes to work challenges and any role I am given or taken in a job, my core focus is how do I make myself redundant? How do I make myself not needed for this role anymore? Because if that's my focus, it means that I will either strive to succeed or I will fail. And in either outcome, the result is that you move forward. So, and I guess that was what's happened that day I sort of woke up. I had been thinking about leaving Tesla for a while because I really wanted to launch an insurtech idea actually for Tesla. And I've been working for Tesla for a long time, and I consider Elon Musk one of my core mentors. And one of his very strong messages to everyone that he works with is that he wants people to do things, not talk about things. Show, don't tell. So I'd been thinking about this insurance idea for electric vehicles for a long time, and I actually wanted to do it for Tesla. So I decided to leave, and I used my Tesla shares to invest in a very innovative insurtech platform. And then the plan was to offer this as a partnership to Tesla when it was live, just a show don't tell sort of thing. And the plan sort of worked, but another company came in and tempted me to do something else.
What was your biggest challenge in Tesla, like work-wise?
I think the biggest challenge is to convince people that an electric vehicle can be your number one and only vehicle. And that transition to going fully electric has always been a huge challenge, because it's a very new thing for people. Still to this day, it's a very new thing. As we've seen from 2020, 95% of the world's global sales is non-full electric vehicles. So it's only like 5% market share. So in countries like Norway, we are of course very lucky when it comes to incentives that the government supports going electric to make it easy. But in other countries, especially in countries like Germany, for example, where I work now, the going electric is extremely difficult for people because they have this need to go far distances. They obviously do very high speed in Germany, which is not ideal for a range of an electric car. And the long distances is also a challenge, and you have cold weather. So these are some of the core challenges facing electric vehicles, and I think that's still to this day one of the hardest challenges of convincing people to go electric.
Okay, so after Tesla, you wanted to do something else in your life, but offer from Audi help you change that. So what was your first thought after accepting the offer, and why did you accept it?
Yeah, that was a funny story actually, because I didn't have any plan of continuing in the auto industry. Like I said, I was leaving to do something completely different. And it's not because I didn't have any passion for it anymore. I absolutely love automotive. But I really didn't think I would be fortunate enough and lucky enough to experience something as crazy and wild as the Tesla journey has been. And then I remember I had left Tesla and I read an article, a news article about the upcoming Audi e-tron. And this was in 2017, so the e-tron was then publicly a very prototype vehicle. And I actually knew the communications manager of Audi in Norway. So I saw that he was mentioned in this article, and I wrote him a message saying, "Hey, congratulations on a good article. You know, make sure you don't do the same mistakes as we did in Tesla." And then he learned that I had left Tesla, so he invited me for a lunch. And we had a very nice talk about, you know, the do's and don'ts when it comes to selling electric vehicles. But I was very clear in that I didn't want to work for Audi. I actually, at that point, I didn't even like Audi. And yeah, he sort of, I think he told somebody in the headquarters in Ingolstadt about me. And at that point, the person who was responsible, which Rupert Stadler and Bram Schott in Audi, they were very pushy on getting people from the outside with experience on electric vehicles. So it was a very lucky coincidence. Anyway, they ended up inviting me to Ingolstadt to meet some people. And I had no idea who I was meeting. And they just asked me to present some thoughts about what I think Audi should do. And when I got there, in the middle of the factory of Audi, I met with, you know, the top vice presidents of the entire company in this big meeting room, and I was there very casual, very non-German, and I really spoke my mind without having any filter or any, you know, politics involved. And I guess they really liked that, because immediately after that meeting, I was just attacked with questions of whether I would like to consider coming to work for Audi. And they showed me some of the planned vehicles, the e-tron, of course, and also the other ideas they had. And I was really then amazed by, wow, I am able here to experience one of the biggest change-ups in the automotive history. You know, a company like Audi was part of the biggest, you know, automotive group in the world, is changing their game completely, and it's because of the work we did in Tesla that we've convinced them. So that was really inspirational for me, and that's when I thought, you know, I can't say no to this. This is too good of an opportunity to say no to, and if they really mean what they're saying, Audi will be the #1 premium electric vehicle manufacturer in the world for sure.
Okay, you worked in 2 companies, you know all pros and cons. As a professional, what car do you prefer, Tesla or Audi e-tron?
Yeah, I'll try to be as non-biased as I can here. Obviously, I've worked for both companies, but I've also owned several Teslas personally. Never been given any company car by Tesla, by the way. Never even discounts, because Tesla doesn't give discounts, not even to the employees. So I've always bought my cars, you know, as any other person. And I've had the Tesla Roadster, Tesla Model S, Tesla Model X. My sister has the Tesla Model 3, and obviously I've driven that quite a lot as well. And for sure, Tesla has the tech advantage. And I completely understand why some people choose Tesla and not the Audi, and the other way around. But for me, I currently drive an e-tron Sportback. I obviously sort of have to, but I prefer the build quality and the premiumness, the premium feel and the immense quality in the build of the car, the sound isolation, the feel of the leather and the texture and seats and everything is just so solid and so well built, and that's my preference when it comes to electric vehicles, at least.
Okay, we can't wait to find out what's the plans are for Audi e-tron. Can you share some of them with us?
I wish I could tell you a lot about them. I have to be careful not to, say too much. What I can say is that we recently launched the Q5 e-tron in China. This is a model, unfortunately, only for the Chinese market. But it is another stepping stone into showcasing what we're going to do in Europe and on the West. Obviously, one of the most popular and best-selling models of Audi has the number 6 in it. So you can be sure that there's going to be the next cars that's coming, Q6, A6, Avant, e-tron, all going to be fully electrified, brand new models. And we are also very aware that our fans love our RS cars. And for sure, the only way to make an RS vehicle better is to electrify it. So yeah, lots to look forward to.
Awesome. The future of electric cars is surely bright. With more and more people moving towards sustainability, this trend will only continue in the next few decades. What is your prognosis for the future of electric cars, and what should we expect?
Yeah, I was already convinced about that future when I started working for Tesla. Even before I started working for Tesla. There should be no doubt anymore that battery electric vehicles is the future. And we are already, in terms of range level, we are already at the level that is equal to our cars today. 500-600 kilometers of range is more than enough. And I think the focus for the future is going to be very much on charging times, charging infrastructure, of course, but also the battery technology. Already I think in 2024, we are seeing the production of a sort of mid-size electric vehicle being close to the same as the production cost of a combustion car engine, which is really a tipping point, because that's when the technology is starting to become cheaper, meaning there is margin in selling electric vehicles, which is key for a lot of the big manufacturers like the Volkswagen Group and Audi to really move heavily into this industry. Obviously, we need to make money on the cars, or else we can't bring out the new models and you focus on research and development for new technology. So this is key. But I think also it's important to pay attention to technologies like solid state batteries. Maybe battery swapping might be something to look into. But for sure, battery electric vehicles is the future.
Okay, so after Audi, do you have any new crazy dreams to pursue?
Yeah, well, I'm living the dream. What can I say? I'm part of the biggest change in the biggest company in the auto industry, the Volkswagen Group, and it's incredible seeing that the level of focus they have on this future. And also, of course, the trouble that we've been through in terms of the COVID, the focus they have in terms of taking care of their local environments and also their employees, it's just really, really incredible. But I actually did have a dream before I started working in the auto industry, and that was I used to drive go-karts. And I guess I was quite an okay driver, but I knew I wasn't good enough to go anywhere on a career-wise. But I really had a dream working in a Formula One team, being the pit crew and changing the tires and doing that. So I guess that's the sort of dream that I never got to do.
That's great. And the last but not least, what is your personal top list of books everyone should read?
I'm a huge fan of business books and books that challenge your perception on things. I would say one of the best reads I've ever done is the book by Simon Sinek. That's Start with Why. fantastic book. And also I recently read one that's from Mark Manson called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F, which is also a very, very good book that really challenges your way of pushing for something that don't really seem to happen. Sometimes you just got to step back and don't care, and then you'll see that you'll be able to accomplish more. Great book.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for this incredible talk. And right now we will have maybe a little more time to answer some questions if our audience have one. So please, all the attendees, if you have any questions, here we have a Q&A section in the middle. So you can ask one and we will answer them. Okay, got a quick question. Have you heard about Sono Motors? And if yes, what do you think about their solar electric vehicle? Does it have big potential?
Yeah, I think yes and no. What we see on electric vehicles with solar panels is it creates a great efficiency. But solar panels are not, they don't give a lot of electricity when it comes to the area they need to cover. And also the larger the area, the heavier the car. So it might be good for making good efficiency on HVAC system, like the air conditioning and things, when a car is standstill, something like Nissan Leaf did in the very early beginning of that car. But it's an interesting technology, but I think that solar panel production should be more of a sustainable and renewable energy source and storage of energy instead of putting it on a car.
Okay, awesome. The second question, what do you think about Tesla bot?
A Tesla boat?
Yes, Tesla bot. Yuri
I would love to see that. Yeah, I would absolutely love to see that. And going back to that first question again, when it comes to solar, it would make a lot of sense to put that on a boat, because a boat has a lot of area to cover, and it's always exposed to often sunshine and light. So to combine those two things would be really cool. But yeah, I would love to see electric boats, and I think it's going to happen. We're now seeing, actually that was part of my studying. I looked at how the technology in the auto industry is being transferred to other industries. And we've already seen that when it comes to boats, that the combustion engines of turbocharged diesel engines have completely taken over the boat industry. It started in the auto industry, and then now it's pretty much all the bigger boats have turbocharged diesel engines. So I definitely think electric boats is also a future that's going to happen.
I'll have to jump in. I guess we just passed the great idea to Elon Musk, because I meant the Tesla bot that was announced, a humanoid from Tesla, who will be like a human and help you in general health.
Oh yeah, the bot, the robot.
Yeah, the robot.
Okay, got it. Yeah, although I think the boat is a I would rather have a Tesla boat than a Tesla robot. I think that a Tesla bot, I don't know. I think maybe it's a little bit too science fiction for me. Honestly, I personally don't see myself owning a robot at home that's gonna get me coffee and make my dinner. Maybe it'll change in next years, but I'm not too sure that's what everyone needs.
Kjell,
but I might be wrong.
I made my assumption that the Tesla bot announcement, that was quite a marketing step, because they are quite late with new Tesla factory. So they were about to make that futuristic Tesla, right, with strong winds, right? But right now, as far as I can see, when it came to real life, and Tesla just saw that they are running out of time showing their Tesla. Sophia, do you remember what was the name of that concept from Tesla 3 years ago? That everyone like made a pre-order of that moon Tesla, I would say.
No.
There
Don't
was a new
remember.
car with great shields. Okay, nevertheless, I saw that Tesla.
Cybertruck. Yeah. Cybertruck.
Yeah, Cybertruck, and they run out of time, so that's why they announced Tesla bots. So just to move attention from Cybertruck to another great announcement.
Yeah, well, Tesla likes to do this, and Elon is really good at creating these sort of cool things that make people love the brand. You know, the Tesla tequila is an example of it as well. And I think it's cool, but yeah, it's something that they can do because they are Tesla and he's Elon Musk. You know, you wouldn't see a company like Volkswagen, you know, coming out with their own range of bratwursts or beer. You know, we're a car manufacturer and we're focusing on making great cars.
Okay, so let's jump to the next question. What are the forecasts for progress with the development of new type batteries?
That's a great question. Like I said, I'm personally having a close attention on the solid state technology. The solid state battery is something that really can enable very fast decharge and recharge, and also it doesn't involve the high temperature exposures that normal liquid batteries have. So that technology is, of course, something we have today. You know, in watches and cell phones, you have those types of batteries, but they currently are quite costly to produce. But once, and I know that both BMW and Toyota is also heavily investing in this type of technology. So I think if we get that one to work, that's going to be the new mainstream technology for batteries.
Okay, and what are the personal skills or leadership skills which help you to move up on the career ladder?
To not talk, but to listen. I think, well, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and I think there's a reason for that. And that's something that's been very helpful for me, especially in terms of moving to Germany. My German wasn't too strong when I started to work for Audi, so I sort of had to listening. And when you do that, you're also focusing on people's body language and the tone of their voice, and you really observe a lot more things, and you understand a lot more than always trying to get your opinion across.
Okay. And one more question. I'm curious about EV manufacturers' vision on how the EV charging network is expected to develop in the nearest years. What automotive manufacturers do to support and develop the charging infrastructure?
Yeah, that's I think that's a two-street strategy. One thing is doing our own investments in our own systems and own infrastructure. For example, in the Volkswagen Group, we've been heavily investing in the Ionity charging network, and also in Electrify America, which is the counterpart for the US. But we also need to work closely with partners, also with Tesla when it comes to their superchargers, because it will benefit everyone that we cooperate on this and really ensure that people will always have the possibility to charge wherever and whenever. And I think you'll also see a lot of mobile charging stations being put up, especially in high peak demands. When it comes to the summer holidays, of course, especially in Germany and the central part of Europe, everyone is driving a car, especially during the last couple of years now with COVID. That's been quite insane. So we really need to make sure that we have a possibility to take this peak demand and make sure people are not standing in queue waiting for 40 minutes or 2 hours in order to charge, because that's the first way to make people say this future is not for me, I'm going back to diesel. So that's a hugely important strategy, and we have to work together across manufacturers and also closely with governments.
Okay, great. So far, oh no, we have one more question. Thank you for explaining your point on solar panels, cars, and got another quick question. What about hydrogen-powered engines? Any thoughts if that's something we will see on a regular basis?
Yes, I think we will see that. I think the hydrogen, obviously, hydrogen is one of the most available things in the universe. The problem is that it's stuck to everything else. So there's always a process to develop hydrogen into an energy source, because many people don't realize that hydrogen is not by itself an energy source. Solar is an energy source, and you can put solar, for example, energy directly into a battery. Hydrogen needs to be treated and made into energy, and then stored, and then transported and stored again. So the overall efficiency is quite lower. That said, hydrogen makes a lot of sense for heavy traffic cars, so trucks, maybe bigger machinery. But for passenger vehicles, I don't really see hydrogen taking back the lead that battery electric vehicles have now received.
Okay, great. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.